Attendance from our last show, and we have some holdovers, some people that were here from the last show last year, and some new people.
Okay,
so some familiar faces. So by show of hand, raise your hand if you've seen me before or you've seen me for the first time. Raise your hand. About everybody? Okay.
101 down.
What's the score of the Yankee game? Well, this is a labor of love that we do the show every year. Actually, if we don't do it, we don't get the room upstairs, so sort of kind of a labor of love. My name's the great Lou Dini. Great's my middle name, actually. It's Bruce, but that's another story. Speaking of Bruce, how you doing? This is not the show. The show hasn't started yet. We're waiting for Earl to... So this is, perhaps you've been to a magic show before, but this is not really a magic show. This is more mental magic, magic of the mind. So we hope you enjoy it. The mind can play tricks on people of all ages, and I have something to demonstrate. I learned this when I was 10 years old. That's 47 years ago. You can do the math. It was the first effect in the realm of magic and mentalism that I say that every show, I'm not being condescending. Oh, Will, turn on the tape. I forgot to cue you. I'm sorry. No, this is magic of the mind, and this is something. It's actually an optical illusion, and a lot of magic and mentalism is illusion of the mind, optical illusion. And optical illusion means if you fool the eye, you fool the mind. It's the first thing I ever learned when I was 10 years old. It's not going to fool you, but take a look at it. You'll see how you can play tricks on your brain. And perhaps you're familiar with it. It has to do with these boomerangs. And we have a yellow one, and I'd like you to pull on it, make sure it doesn't stretch. Push on it, make sure it doesn't collapse. And somebody told me in Chinese, it says, please don't break it. So none of this stuff, okay? Does it stretch? Does it collapse? Okay, let's try the red one now. Does it stretch? Does it collapse? Give her a big round of applause. Nice. Now, how long have you known each other?
Since we were 10 years old.
47 years ago. Okay, good. Anyway, here's the optical illusion. It looks like, for all the world, it looks like the red boomerang is smaller than the yellow one. But that is an illusion. Your eye is playing a trick on your brain. I can prove it. See, if I stretch this red one, this is acting, by the way. And it looks like, for all the world, it looks like the red one gets longer, doesn't it? Kind of looks like, doesn't it? Yeah. See? But this is an illusion. Your eye is playing a trick on your mind. If I stretch this yellow one, this is bad acting, by the way. Then it looks like the yellow one gets longer, doesn't it? Can you see that? It looks like the red one's shorter, but here's the deal. Look, they're both exactly the same size. In fact, that's what I think it says in Chinese, one size fits all. I'm not sure. They're exactly the same size, and yet the red one looks a little shorter at times, and yet the yellow one looks a little shorter at times. So that's how your eye can play a trick on your mind. And tonight we're going to have a lot of tricks played on your mind, hopefully. And we hope you enjoy it, too. Some of the things are going to be dealing with mental telepathy, with psychokinesis, telekinesis, remote viewing. Does anyone listen to the Coast to Coast, the Art Bell show? It's Twilight Zone stuff, okay? In fact, I'm going to try something right now. And it's a little bit of a mental telepathy. The young lady sitting in the second row, do we know each other? You seem real happy about that, too. Okay. And what's your name? Lena. I knew that. I'm mental, okay? It's about the contents of this envelope. I want you to clear your mind of all thoughts. I'm going to try to project an image into your mind. It's about the contents of the envelope. There's a picture in the envelope. A picture of a famous person. Could be living, could be dead. Could be dead 10, 20, 200, 400 years. Living or dead, okay? Now, we haven't pre-rehearsed this in any way, shape, or form, have we? Say no.
Say yes.
No. In fact, we haven't met until this moment. And yet, I'm going to try to telepathically send you a message. Now, you're not going to feel a bolt. You're not going to feel a shock. You may feel nothing. But concentrate. A famous person, living or dead. Shout out who comes to mind right now. Elvis Presley. Wrong woman. Who did I work this out with? Wait a minute. You said Elvis Presley of your own free will. No, no. That's Grace Land. Okay. Okay, now we're going to have to start again. No, Elvis Presley, of your own free will, when in fact, in this envelope, is a picture of Elvis Presley when he was a baby. That's him right there. I have no idea how she did that. Give her a big round of applause. Kind of gives you the willies, doesn't it? Oh, guy over here said, I think I know how you did it. So what happened if you picked James Brown? No problem. No problem. In fact, I'm ready for any eventuality. Now, is there anyone I haven't pissed off? No? Okay, good. All right. You know, Halloween is the anniversary of Harry Houdini's death. He died in the torture chamber of peritonitis, quite coincidentally. Halloween, he was, what, 52 years old? Those Houdini buffs out there, okay? 52, and it was the water torture chamber, right? No, what was it? Hospital? In a torture chamber in the hospital. He was locked in the bathroom in the hospital. Okay. We're going to try to conjure up the spirit of the late, great Houdini. But we couldn't do it right out here because who knows what could happen to the audience. We're going to have to use a shroud and a table and some props that you might see at a seance. Like you're going to a seance. You might see this at a seance or at Purim, okay? And this, maybe a seance and all. Okay, here we go. Houdini. And a little shroud. Come on, folks, I'm behind the table. Whoa. Yeah, it's spooky now, isn't it? You don't want to mess with this. Ladies and gentlemen, you don't want to mess with the spirits. I want to thank you very much for watching. You've been a great sport. Let's give the hand a big hand. Thank you. Oh, now we got to start again. Que pasa, Houdini? Okay, anyway. It is with great pleasure. Just throw it right up here. At the count of 3.
You didn't have the right hand out.
Oh, I had the right hand out. Okay. Moving right along, it's with great pleasure I introduce our first act. This was just a warm-up. We really have some talented people coming up one at a time. And this gentleman, I called him, I said, Doc, I got this toothache. He said, I'm retired. I don't do that anymore, Lou. If you want me to do something for the audience, I will. This gentleman has performed all over the world. He's a contemporary of some of the great, great, great mental magicians. And in fact, he has brought an assistant along with him. Please, a big round warm, Doc Prendergast.
In keeping with the Halloween spirit, I brought something along with me. Now, you're all expecting spooks, ghosts, skeletons. No, this is not a pumpkin. Someone said pumpkin. I said it up here. No, what I have here is an old friend of mine.
Looks just like
Professor Phineas P. Pinchpenny. He comes from Powderhorn. Now, don't hold that against him because he comes from a little town like Powderhorn. I know a lot of nice people who come from Powderhorn. The nicer they are, the quicker they come from Powderhorn. But the professor has the distinction of being legally dead. Now, the professor is of the aristocracy, the French aristocracy. You can tell that by the bony part right here. Napoleon had this sort of thing. Now, don't confuse that with the birthmark he got over here. He got into the wrong berth on a Pullman train. The professor had a very colorful life. And in his later years, he had a job as a professional glass eater. Well, he developed a pain in his stomach. And the doctor said, "You'd better take an ocean journey." So he took the ocean journey. The doctor also told him to let him know if anything came up. So the professor got in touch with the doctor every time he had a meal. Right in the middle of one of his best leans, the ship capsized, and most all were lost, except the professor survived. He made his way to a desert island, and on that island, a surprise, 6 beautiful chorus girls from the French Follies. And that's where the professor died. He died tearing down the signals the girls kept putting up. Anyway, his body was shipped back home to a medical college. I learned about it, and I went to see the dean of the school. I wanted to buy the head, but he wouldn't hear of it. He was deaf. One night, I walked out of the school with the head tucked underneath my arm. Now, even in this rather decomposed condition, the professor can actually think. And we do a mental telepathy act together. And the way it works is this. Someone out here thinks of a question. Silently send their thoughts up here. I will receive your thought, and I will transmit the thought to the professor. Now the professor will answer the question by wrapping his jaw once for yes and twice for no. And sometimes he won't give a rap. So in the back, the gentleman back here sending me a strong question. He'd like to know if he can bother us for $100. Professor says, yes, for $100 you can bother us all evening. And there's one coming from over here. Oh, Professor, can you answer that question? Professor said, yes. All right, the question is, as I get it, if I'm right, do they still serve women at the bar at the Brown Palace Hotel? Professor said, no, you have to bring your own. And now kind of a silly question coming up over here. What do you call cheese that is not your own? Professor says, nacho cheese. And here comes one from over here. The gentleman wants to know, how do you catch a unique rabbit? Professor says, you sneak up on it. And now there comes a question that's rather delicate. I don't know if we should answer it. I suppose we'll give the professor a little try. Professor, a little question here. Is it true that Tim Pendergast beats his wife up every morning? Professor said yes. He gets up at 6, she gets up at 7. And now, would you like to would you like to hold the professor? Although he's above ground, I'm going to beret him for a minute. Hold the professor here. Yes, that's, now hold, it's very heavy. It's sort of a dead weight. Yeah. Now, thank you. If you think he's funny looking now, you should have seen him when he was alive. He was cross-eyed. He was so cross-eyed, he spent 2 years in the southeast trying to join up with the Northwest Mounted Police. And now if you'll give the professor a little applause, I'll bow for him and thank you very much.
You don't see that every day. We just clean up here for a second. Pardon me. Okay. What'd you think of that? Wasn't that great? Come on. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, Jimmy Gonzalez. Okay. Our next act, I have some liner notes that I'm going to read, but is there anyone here who, we had a television in our house in New Jersey in 1949, television that really just came out commercially, although it came out long before that. And I grew up with Kukla Fran Ollie and Bishop Sheen, which, you know, what did I know? And Sagunish Helfen. But, Milton Berle. Anyone remember Milton Berle? Okay. Well, I remember Sid Stone. He used to come out with a little tray of goods and do this pitch act and sell things, and then at some point you'd hear sirens go off and he'd have to run off stage because the cops were coming. I don't know if anyone remembers that. But we're going to take you back to those days. In this case, we're going to set the stage. Companies have been manufacturing a lot of products for many years and selling them because of advertising. Advertising principles are much the same today. The media is different. Techniques are the same. Get attention, offer. If that's for me, tell them we're doing a show right now, okay? Thanks. I frightened her, she's got to go. All right. Techniques are the same. Get attention, offer believable facts, and ask for the order. Advertising doesn't sell. It gives reasons for prospective customers to buy. Now allow your imagination to drift back to the turn of the century, to a street corner of any average-sized town, USA, and to an advertising approach that may have sounded something like this.
Looky! Ha-ha! I got it right over here. I'm going to show it to you absolutely free. That's right, folks. Gather in just a little bit closer, but please don't block the alleyway. It may be in violation of the city ordinance. Aha, right. We get set up here, and my friends, you know, our company does not advertise on newspapers, magazines, billboards. We don't advertise on signs of any kind of description. And so to introduce our product to your fair city today, I'm going to give to each and every one of you a brand new $1 bill. That's right, lady. Come right on down front here and get in on the big money. And don't stand too close to the wagon, boy. You might get grease on your trousers. Now, I know if any one of you doesn't receive your $1 bill, you're going to say there's a fake to it, so I'll just put it back in my pocket. My friends, I'm not here to sell you anything, but purely as an advertising representative. But when I tell you some of the amazing things accomplished by an application of Dr. Utopia's magical medicines for mysterious maladies, you'll say it's like magic. And my friends, it is like magic, which brings to mind a magic trick. It's one that I dedicated to my mother-in-law because it's a trick with an old bag. Ah, my mother-in-law. She's with us right now. Stopped in just to spend the weekend. That was 3 years ago. The one thing my mother-in-law doesn't like around our house, besides me, of course, is us boys playing dice. So when we're playing dice and we see the mother-in-law coming into the room, and we have a little fun with it, we put the dice in the bag, snap our fingers once, and lo and behold, the dice have disappeared. And then when we snap our fingers twice to make it twice as snappy, when she leaves, we have our dice back again. Now, my friends, I want you to watch very closely, because I'm going to produce my mother-in-law from this bag right before your very eyes. Watch carefully. Yes, sir. There she is, the old hen. My friends, I'd like to introduce that outstanding product. That's the first product we have to call your attention to. It's Princess Feather Flowers, Elliptical, Asiatical, Pentacurical, Nervous Cordial, and Indian Elixir. It comes in a bottle made especially for this fine product. It's molded in cameo engraved. Gets a little too moldy, you just wipe it with a rag. It contains 48 ounces, and my friends, note, it's precisely 12 inches high, which means you can also use it for a tape measure. It's marvelous for adults, but if you don't have adults, it's good for many other purposes, too numerous to mention. It makes an excellent polish for tan or black shoes. When taken with 7-Up or ginger ale, a pleasant summertime drink. Do you have that tired, low, run-down feeling? How about you, sir? Did you get up with a grouch this morning, or did she get up ahead of you? Well, if you have 4 o'clock fatigue or 5 o'clock shadow, my friends, don't worry. Princess Feather Flowers, Elliptical, Asiatical, Pentacurical, Nervous Cordial may be precisely what you need. It's good for young or old, man or beast. Old maids love it, the children cry for it. Well, before I leave that product, I want to read to you an unsolicited testimonial I received. We receive many of these all the time. This letter says, "Dear Dr. Utopia, I certainly get a bang out of your medicine. I used to suffer with hangnails. Now, thanks to your marvelous remedies, I have not only lost my hangnails, but my nails as well. Should I worry about my fingers?" Well, that's very nice. Here's another letter. Oh, this comes from the managers of the hotel right here in your city. It says, "Dear doctor, if your rent isn't paid by 5 o'clock tomorrow," that's a long one. I don't know where that came from. Well, we need all of these testimonials from people that really are satisfied with these fine products. This is from a Dr. Cuthbert Dinglestretcher. He's one of the best-known chiropractors in Walla Walla, Washington, who writes, "Gentlemen, before using your Wonder Tonic, I had 2 distinct bald spots on top of my head. But after only a few external applications locally, I now have only 1, proving the potency of this outstanding preparation. In fact, I understand the doctor is in the audience today. Yes, doctor, would you stand up to say hello?"
And here's the testimonial, just one.
My friends, that's item number 1. Let me introduce article number 2. It's You Sick'em. Now, what you ask is You Sick'em? My kind and patient friend, you have every right to ask. Because until after the war, You Sick'em was little known or used in this country, except by the North American Indian. It's carefully compounded of roots, herbs, barks, and willow leaves, and it's fully aged in the wood before sending it to us, where we place it into our laboratory of magical medicines. You ladies out there will use You Sick'em for a variety of purposes. It's good to make an outstanding cleansing item, or as a spot remover. A simple demonstration sells them every time. Watch very carefully. I'm going to sprinkle a few drops of You Sick'em on the center spot on this card, and watch very carefully, because that spot's going to disappear right before your very eyes. It's quality merchandise, my friends. Quality merchandise. Now, when you gentlemen out there, I want to tell you, this item really works fast. Here I have an ordinary light bulb, 110-watt bulb with no wires, no attachments of any kind. And watch very carefully to show you how fast it works, man. Quality merchandise. Indeed, it's quality merchandise. Now, I know you ladies out there, when you use You Sick'em, and you want to try to use it as a material to dye to dye any kind of material. In fact, you can change the color decor in any room in your house in just a matter of minutes. Here we have 2 handkerchiefs. We're going to sprinkle some Eusicum on these handkerchiefs. We'll rub it rather gently into the fabric. Watch very closely. Oh, it's quality merchandise, my friends. Quality merchandise. Well, my friends, Eusicum was made to sell for $5, but I'm not going to ask that you pay $5, $3, or even $1. But if you have the nerve, courage, and money enough, if you have an ounce of sporting blood coursing through your veins, we're going to sell this product today for just 50 cents, $1/2 $1. And of course, you'll also get a bottle of Princess Feather Flowers Elliptical, Asiatical, Pendicurical, and Nervous Cordial, absolutely free. So I'm going to start selling right now. 50 cents, $1/2 $1. How about this gentleman over here? Very good, sir. All right. Go on your way rejoicing. And this lady down here, ma'am, we thank you. Another soul made very happy. Well, my friends, that just about, I see there's a policeman coming down there. He probably wants to clear a little traffic out of the intersection. So I'll be back with another presentation about 3:30 this afternoon, at which time I'll eat a bale of hay and swing a 100-pound dumbbell on each foot. The most hair-raising, death-defying demonstration of human dexterity ever experienced. Thank you for your very kind.
That was Bob Schreiber. Give Bob a big hand. You don't see that every day. I'll take that. Just throw it right up here. All right, on to the mentalism, the magic of mentalism. Bob took that out of mothballs. We appreciate it. He had to buy it back from you, didn't he, Ned? We've been waiting years to videotape that. Now we got the goods on Bob. Okay, not much to say about this gentleman. If you visit his website, he is friends with every popular magician in the world. That's all I can say. He's buddying up to some of the fantastic magicians in the world. That's because he's also a fantastic mentalist, one of the members of the PSI Clones, and he wanted me to tell you that if you stick around till the end of the show, we have refreshments, cookies and drinks. So what kind of drinks?
Soft.
What kind you want?
Anything you got.
Then you got it. Look him up with something. Dishwater. Okay. Richard Nakata.
Oh boy. I don't know, an introduction just like that. What can I say here? Well, I have these really fancy props here. Well, how many people out here are crossword puzzle fanatics? Anybody? Oh, good. Now, what I want to do and ask you this. Now, do you do it the whole old-fashioned way where you go out and use a paper and pencil and you write it all out and everything? I got a suggestion for you. You need to do it the new easy way. Do it with ESP, all right? Extrasensory perception. I've done it. Works really well. But I have to tell you, I do cheat. What I do need is I need somebody who will help me out here with this. And what they normally do is they read the words and then they spell them out to me mentally. Would you mind helping?
Thank you.
There you go. And your name is? I'm Richard Nakata. Nice to meet you, Joyce. Everybody's going to hand for Joyce. Joyce, you don't have too much of a puzzle there because all of the answers are written in for you. Okay, so that kind of helps. Now, there are 124 different word combinations and definitions there, all right? I believe there's 65 across and 59 down as far as the definitions on the back. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to have someone pick a card, or I'm sorry, not a card, they're going to pick a number here in just a minute. But what I have is I have a deck of cards, and these are interesting cards. They're alphabet cards. Huh. Pretty good for a crossword puzzle, yeah. Playing cards wouldn't make much sense. All right? And what I want is someone in the audience, not Joyce, but someone else, to pick a number between 1 and 65. Just somebody, shout out a number out.
15.
15, all right. Now, Joyce, is 15 a good number for you?
Yes.
There's a number there, cool. I want you, if you would please, look on the back there in the definitions, all right? And is that an across or a down?
Cross.
An across, all right. Now what I want you to do is take a look at that, and I want you to start thinking of the word that's there, all right? It's not real clear. I'll tell you what, sometimes we have to do a little preliminary. Would you count how many letters there are there? Don't tell me now, just keep it silent. Let me see if we can get this. There are 5 letters, aren't there? Very good, okay. Well, we're starting to tune in there, Joyce. All right, now I want you now, let's start thinking here. Let's see. Just think of that word. Let's see here. All right. Okay, I think we've got it here, Joyce. I think we do.
You sure?
I don't know. We're gonna have to see if we can figure that out. It's an unusual kind of a word, I think.
Yes.
All right. 5 cards, 5 letters. Let's see how well you and I communicate this now. Now, would you please first read the definition aloud for everyone now?
And thus shall ye.
All right. And the word, would you please spell the first letter out?
E.
E. And the second letter?
A. T.
Third letter?
I. T.
And another T. Et. Absolutely. And that is how we do crossword puzzles on ESP. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. All right, this next one requires a little bit of money. And actually what I'm looking for is a $20 bill. But I'm looking for a new $20 bill. And we just came out with new $20 bills. Anybody have a new $20 bill? Anybody? You got one of the, you got one, sorry, what do you have? But it's upstairs, huh? Well, that's all right. Oh, all right. Just stay back there for a second, Craig. What we're going to do here is I have what we call a visual aid, all right? And this visual aid, somewhat large, right? And Craig, now Craig and I know each other, but we haven't worked together or anything on this, but you happen to have a 20 for me. And actually what I want you to do is to take your $20 bill, if you would please, hold it so that Andrew Jackson is staring you right back in the face. Have you got that? All right. And then what I want you to do is take and do this. Turn it directly around, just like that. Kind of follow my directions here. Now, all right, what we're going to do, you're going to fold that directly in half, like so, and crease it. Very good. Precise precision there, right? Take it again and fold it from left to right again, and fold it. Very good. And now we're going to take it here and fold the top down, just like so, and crease it up. A nice, good fold. Now, Craig, you've done a good job with that. I'll tell you what, can we have you come up here for a second? Just let me get that 20 from you for just a minute. All right. Now what you've got here, you've got this $20 bill that's right here. Now, you know, 10 years ago, it's just a short aside here on economics. You know that 10 years ago, your $20 bill would pay for that much in goods and services. But look what we have today. We get this little teeny tiny little bill today, and that's what we get in services, right? Now, Craig, what I've got to do is ask you this, okay? Now, would you rather have this great big $20 bill, or would you rather have this little teeny weeny bill? Tough decision, huh?
I'll take the big one.
You want the big one? No, you want the teeny weeny one, don't you? All right, why don't you come up here, Craig?
All right.
All right, hold on to that bill. And Craig, why don't you come on up? And what we're going to do here, Craig, is I want you, if you would, please, let's see, I'll move over here. The stage is a little small. I don't want to see the bill. If you'll go over to that side there, don't fall off the stage and break that wonderful stand. I'll have someone coming after me. Now, Craig, I want you to hold that bill up. Now, what I'm going to do is a bit called remote viewing. We talked about that a little earlier, and it's also known as clairvoyance. And what I'm going to do now, Craig, I haven't looked at the bill, you haven't looked at the bill, so you really don't know what the serial number is on that bill. And what I'm going to do is try to see into that bill, and first of all, I'm going to try to determine the sum total of the serial number, the 8 digits that are on that bill. I'm going to do this rather quickly. I get a 39. Now, Craig, first time, don't let me see the serial number, please. Keep it hidden. If you would, please take a look at that serial number. And I want you to add those numbers up, if you will. And have I hit it, or am I close? This is that higher math, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, you know. What did you get? Is it 39 or?
7, 10, 29, 33, 43, 47, 49.
49? Are you sure?
Let's go through.
Sure.
10 and 9 is 19. Oh, I'm sorry. Here we go. 23. Yeah.
You send them to school, give them an education.
34.
He's a pilot. Did you know that?
I got 40.
40. All right, well, I'm close. I'm very close. Okay, well, that's kind of the warm-up, ladies and gentlemen. But now, all right, here's what we're going to do. Craig, I want you to look at that bill now. Now, with a serial number on a bill, and with the 20, there's usually 8 numbers, and there's usually a letter at the beginning and a letter at the end. So let's see if I can get that. I want you to look at that first letter. Oh, this is unusual. There's another letter, isn't there?
There is.
There is. And I'm getting... Okay, now I want you to look at the next 4 digits, if you would, please.
Okay.
Okay, and now if you would look at the next 4 digits. I feel a little bit of hesitation. Is this digit right here, this is a little bit off, isn't it? Maybe? Hang on, hang on. Think about it again. Yeah, there we go. That's it. And here. And now would you look at the last letter? And all right. Craig, you and I did not, before the show, talk about this. There was no collusion.
I'd be able to add the numbers if there was.
Okay, that in itself is worth it. That's right. And you took that bill out of your own wallet. You had it with you when you came in. What? I mean, there was no pre-planning whatsoever. So honestly, tell the audience that, correct? All right. So now, for the first time, if you will just name off the letters on the bill, and I'll mark them off. What do you have?
E, 7, 3, 4, 9, 4, 7, 2, 4, A.
Right.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Richard McCarter, and our next performer is up.
Craig Dunaway. Big hand for Richard Nakata. All right. Line up your, we're going to set up the next act, but let me see that 20 again. It's a new 20?
It is.
Okay. No. Great. And you will watch this because you'll be able to do this after I show it to you. I want you to, and I don't know, maybe you've seen this, it's been in the paper already. You see the hedges? Once you see this, you'll never miss it. When you take out a new 20, okay? See if you can look, I'll tell you right now, it's on the right side. And while we're doing that, Tim's going to set up for his act. See if you can see the hitchhiker behind the hedges. Take a quick look.
Hitchhiker.
There is. There's a hitchhiker. Okay. Okay, you got it? You see it?
No.
No. Wendy, I'll point the general here. You see the hitchhiker behind the hedges?
I don't.
You don't. You? Okay, he's right. Oh, I must have gotten a ride. Okay. And now from the sublime to the ridiculous. All the way from Fort Collins. Please welcome Tim Foolery.
When I was 5 years old, I found out that I had strange powers. I won't even call them mental, I'm not sure what they are. I found out this by doing something that all of you that have had children realize, that we have a fascination when we're little for the toilet bowl. And my mother, it's funny that you mentioned Elvis. Somebody over here mentioned Elvis earlier. It's funny that you mentioned him because my mother was famous because of Elvis, because she would paint pictures on black velvet of Elvis. She would use craft sand to do it. And she was very famous in our area for doing it, which was in Ohio and kind of the rural areas, if you can imagine that. Those Elvis paintings were really, sought after a lot. So one day I saw this sand and I thought, gee, this would be really cool. Wonder what it'd be like in the toilet bowl. So we wanted to make, I wanted to make it look a little bit like it is a toilet bowl, because this is a punch bowl, and obviously you'd never drink out of a. Well, yeah, I guess you would. We'll kind of make it look, because my mom always used tidy bowls. She was quite a sanitary person, and I would take the sand. I took the sand and I just. Dumped it in just like that, and I thought the green was kind of neat, so I thought, well, we'll try that too. We dumped a little green in, and a little bit of orange, and then I stirred it around a little bit, just like that. And I said, wow, look at all the pretty colors. It's like the 60s. No, wait, I'm sorry. I was going back there for my, sorry. Of course, at this moment, my mom walked in and she said, what in the world are you doing? And she saw the mess and she said, what are you doing? And I really didn't have anything to say. And she said, you are in so much trouble. What do you think is going to happen to you when your father gets home? And growing up in the 50s, I knew what was going to happen to me when my father got home. Nothing like today where I'd be scolded. So I really started to sweat. And I thought maybe if I used my mind and concentrated, maybe I could get out of this situation, because I knew I couldn't lie out, because it was done. Would you name a color, just one of these three colors here?
Orange.
Orange? And I think fate was with me that day, because out of that water, out of that mess, I was able to grab that orange sand. Another color, please.
Green.
Green?
Pretty good.
Yeah, we don't have to say that. I think that's kind of left. Well, needless to say, I thought I would redeem myself, but I still got it when my dad got home anyway. Thanks very much.
Tim Bendergas, he travels all over the world with a roto-rooter truck. After that presentation, Jonathan Pendragon, eat your heart out. The next performer is best known for his work with his friend Professor Krill in their acclaimed two-man show, Mental Wizardry. They performed their show at Denver's Mercury Cafe Cabaret. Let's give a warm welcome to not only a fine performer, but someone who helped make this night possible. So if you didn't like it, blame him. Morelli!
Oh my. Thank you and good evening. Pleasure to be with you this evening. Tonight we're going to explore the powers of the mind. So if you're asked to volunteer, please do so, and maybe, just maybe, you'll learn something new and wonderful about yourself. Now, as you can suspicion, I am very interested in the paranormal. Particularly, one of the areas is unidentified flying objects known as UFOs. Most of you call them flying saucers. Now, how many of you here in the room today have seen a flying saucer? Raise your hand. Well, not a person. We can't have that happen. Okay, tell you what. I just happen to have a flying saucer with me so that you won't be disappointed. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just toss this out, and if someone will please catch it. Are you ready? Here we go. Flying saucer. Oh, great. Okay, now, saucer is sealed, is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, just hold on to it for now and we'll come back to it. Now remember, I ask that you volunteer when you need to, and I'm going to ask all of you to volunteer at once. What I want you to do is to think of a number 1 through 9. Don't play with the flying saucer. The little man may come out and we'll be in big trouble. I have here an interplanetary comet. Okay, it's a ping pong ball, but I mean, you gotta use your imagination. Okay, I'm going to toss this out in the audience. If you please try to grab it, and you're thinking of your numbers. Okay, here we go. Grab it. There you go. You got it? Well, that's close. Close enough. Oh. What number were you thinking of? 9.
Uh-oh, there goes the ball.
We've had it. Okay, I'm going to record this while we. Okay, that was a 9. Okay. All right. Would you point to somebody else in the audience and that I could get another number from, please? That's the lady in white.
No, the one next to it.
Oh, all right.
Green.
What was the number you got? What was it? 8. A 9 and an 8. Okay. Would you point to somebody? Right there? Okay, good. And what number are you thinking of? A 6. Okay, so the number is 9, 8, and 6. Is that correct? Okay. What I'd like to do now is if the person that caught the flying saucer would please come up on stage. Let's give her a nice round of applause. your name is Linda. We've met before, haven't we?
Yes.
Yes, I thought so. But we have nothing prearranged this evening, is that correct? Okay. Okay, now, by the way, congratulations. A few people catch a flying saucer. And I wonder what's in there. Maybe a prediction of the future. Is there something in there? Go ahead and shake it. You hear a rattling?
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, it's rattling.
Oh, it rattles. Well, if you came through space, you'd probably rattle too. But there is something in there. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right, I'll tell you what. Let's see if we can open that up and see what's in there. I have something somewhere. I have a box cutter, which I didn't leave on the airplane, and I will thank you. Let's go ahead and just cut this open, okay? Here we go. Come on. Let's knife in. Tough stuff. I would say it's really sealed. There we go. Of course, it would help if I sharpen the knife, I'm sure. But we'll get there. Okay. I just cut through those little guys. I bet that hurt. There we go. Okay, done. All right, now would you hold your hands out, cup your hands. Let's dump this out, whatever it may be. Good. It's something came out. What is it?
It's paper.
Paper. Okay, I tell you what. Don't say anything. Just open the paper and read to yourself what's on it. Something look familiar, like.
Yeah.
Okay, would you read what that says?
986.
The audience number will be 986. Thank you. Oh boy. Well, coming here tonight, I bet you didn't expect to see a real alien happening here at the old Metro Manor, right? Well, that was some fun. I'd like to do something with songs. I love songs. I have all my life. My mother sang, my father sang. And most people, if I want to make money, I would bet that they have a favorite song from their childhood that they, for some reason, remember. But why do they remember a song like that? Well, the psychologists say it's because of the fact that they're normally emotionally tied to the song. And that's why they remember it. Now, before the show tonight, I had a number of you write down your favorite songs. And I then had one of you take the notebook in which those songs existed, and it was put into an envelope and sealed. That person has it, and I believe, is it Lisa? Is that correct? Lena. Okay, Lena, would you please come up with the envelope? Good. Now, Lena, you saw that on every page there was a different song written by somebody out here. Is that correct? Okay. And you sealed the notebook in that envelope. Has that envelope left your possession? Anybody fooled with it? No. Okay. What we're going to do now is let's take that notebook out of the envelope. And while you're doing that, just hold on to it. I need to get a bag here. Just a moment. You can whistle or hum if you want. Okay. Here we go. I have here obviously a plastic bag. And if you'd step right over here, I think it'd be easier on you. Okay, I'll take the notebook. If you'll take the bag, and I'll take the envelope and get it out of your way. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take each of those songs and put them into the envelope. Okay? One at a time. By the way, there's no harm to your songs in what I do here. It's very humane society has passed me crushing these songs like this. Okay. You Are My Sunshine. Who did that one? You Are My Sunshine. There, the lady there. You Are My Sunshine. Okay. Good. All right. And, now, by the way, how many of you men out there know your wife or girlfriend or significant other's favorite song? Raise your hands. Oh, man. Let me rephrase that. I am sure that all you men out there know your wife, your sweetheart, your significant other favorite song, because it'll be a much more pleasant evening if you remember that. Now then, let's try one more time. How many of you men out there know your wife's favorite song or your significant other? Oh yeah, okay. I think you got the message. Good improvement there. Good improvement. We're getting through them all here. Okay, and yours was Rockabye Baby. Yeah, okay. Very good. That's good. Okay. Now, would you please just shake up all those, shake them up in there. Good. All right, what I'm going to do is ask you to go ahead and reach into the bag, and I'm going to turn away, reach into the bag and pull out one, and only one song. Have you done that?
Yeah.
All right, go ahead and put the bag down, be on the table on the floor. All right, take a look at that song, and now on the table you'll see a whiteboard and a marker. Will you please take that and in bold print the title of the song you picked out of all those songs of our friends out here in the audience? Will you print that on the board? Now this is a test, by the way. See if you could really be a teacher using a blackboard, that type of thing. How are you doing?
Doing good.
Doing good. Have you got it? Almost.
Okay.
Okay? Now then, will you please show that to everyone in the audience? Please, audience, say nothing. Say nothing. Just read what she has written. Has everybody seen that?
Yeah.
Okay. Now then, there is an eraser. Take the eraser and erase that board. The reason I wanted to erase is so that nobody can say, oh, he peeked, he saw it. Okay? Have you done that? Close.
Almost.
Almost. It's done, right? I sense that.
Not yet. Almost.
Almost. Boy, you must have really did it hard. Okay? Great. Okay. I want to thank you for all your help. And you can go ahead back to your seat. And let's give her a nice round. Now comes the tough part for me. Out of all those songs that you here in the audience wrote, you know who wrote them. She picked one song. She put that song on a board, which you all know. What I want you to do is, without a whisper, without a sound, hum that song in your mind. Sing it if you wish. Just don't sing it out loud, because that makes it very easy for me, believe me. I'm getting too many thoughts. Let's do it this way. I'm going to count to 3. And then you start in your mind again with that song. Here we go. A 1, and a 2, and a 3, and... Yeah, I'm getting sun from over here. Yeah, over there. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 like the water. Everybody, row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Thank you. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been fun for me. I hope it's been fun for you. Until we meet again, I'm Morelli. Thank you and good night.
Big hand for Morelli. I'm going to erase this out. Let me see that one there. That one? Yeah. Yeah, let's see. Look at this, look at this. Palindrome. Yeah. Okay. All right. Another hand for Morelli. And if you can just get rid of that krill guy and the box cutter jokes, you got an act. Okay. Wonderful job. Now, were you really thinking of that song in your head?
Yeah.
And you got it?
Yeah.
Just by thinking of it. You really liked him, didn't you?
He's good.
Yeah. And you? Did the big man scare you? No? Okay. Good. All right. Well, it's been a great evening, but we're going to top it off. And we want to thank you for letting us meet here, whether you know it or not. We're on the 18th floor once a month. We watch you run around this outside. It's great. And we appreciate you letting us meet here once a month. We are the PSI Clones, the only mental club for miles around. And we have a professional in our midst, someone that does this full-time all the time. He even has a trained monkey, believe it or not. He goes all over the country, all over the world with his mental magic, and we're really privileged to have him in our club because he's a great asset. He's going to close the show for us tonight. Big round of applause for Mr. Mark Strider.
Stay right there, it doesn't matter. Okay. All right, don't peek, this is the big finish. Doesn't matter. How you folks doing tonight? If you had a good time, say yeah? Yeah. Oh, good, they're trainable. Thank you so much for coming. I appreciate you being here. Some of these jokes are just for me, apparently. Now, actually, I would like to try something that's a little bit unusual compared to well. I spoke rashly, didn't I? Okay. That's okay. Now, I do want to try something that is probably a little different than something you may have seen before. And in point of fact, I need somebody with experience. So, Lena, do me a favor. Come on back up here. Big hand for my new friend, Lena. Only because you've been here so much before. Step on up here. See, now you get to experience real show business. All right. Thank you so much. We have not met before, have we? Really pleased. Now, I'll tell you what. We're going to try something here that's very, very simple. Very, very simple. And in point of fact, I'm going to need your help with this. I brought along some of my business cards here. We'll use that here in a second. And I also brought a whole bunch of markers, little Crayola markers. Do me a favor, if you would, please just take one. That one right there. That's perfect. That's perfect. And let me show you how this works. This is really easy. Okay. And we're going to use, like I said, we're going to use one of my business cards here. And do me a favor, if you would, please, just put your initials, if you would, please, inside that circle right there. We're going to try something that's a little bit unusual. Got it? Beautifully done. Beautifully done. We're going to need that momentarily, but I should show you this. Lena's initials on the back of my card, so that when you see this later, you'll know. Okay, you'll understand what that's all about. But I also brought with me, and I should preface this with a little story. This is true. I actually have a real strong fascination with a number of rather unusual pursuits. And one of the things that I particularly enjoy is I have actually accumulated quite a collection of rather, let's just call them cursed antiquities, okay, rather strange. Yeah, to the point where I actually have my own private museum of cursed antiquities. Now, this is not a place where you can go and see all of these fine exhibits. No, this is something that I take around to various civic groups and other groups for a modest fee. But For your edification this evening, I have brought one of the exhibits, and I should explain what it is you're about to see, because you've probably never seen anything like the particular artifact that I have with me here this evening. There are some parts of the world where certain cultures handle various aspects of justice differently than we do. And by the way, thank you. Just stand right there and look good. You're doing great. Who handle various aspects of their justice system differently than we do. For instance, here in this country, you might pay a fine, you might go to jail, you might do whatever. There are some parts of the world where some of the punishments are, let's just say, rather severe. All right, and I'm going to just lay one out for you here this evening. For instance, in this country, for instance, if you're familiar with the crime of forgery, where you forge someone's name on a contract, or there's another kind of forgery, like if you're printing up the new money, good luck with that, or anything like that, you probably get a fine, you get jail time, things like that. Well, there are certain parts of the world, and I will not name specific locations, but there are certain parts of the world where the punishment is a bit more severe. At least a bit more extreme, let's put it that way. Where, let's say you have somebody who forged someone else's signature on a contract, for instance. They would take the offending person, and to make sure that they never forge someone's signature ever again, they will actually put the arm out on the table, take an axe, whack, and knock off the hand. If you think I'm making this up, I could be. But I'm not. Well, some of this stuff is true I'm making up here, so listen close. No, it really is true. So in certain parts of the world, this really is an actual practice. Now, I brought along, some of you are thinking, oh my God, what did he bring with me? This is not the real deal, okay? I will tell you right up front, this is just a crude facsimile. I didn't want to bring the real thing. Some of you are still trying to hold down lunch. So, however, I did bring along a facsimile of what it is I'm showing. Now, what they would actually do is once they would cut off the hand, they would then put the hand up on display, public display, as a bit of a warning to others, you know, don't let this happen to you, kind of a thing. Now, like I say, this is not quite as grisly as you may be picturing, but there we go. Now you see what I mean? This, if you were to just see this someplace, you go, oh, what is that all about? Well, that's our purpose here this evening, actually, is because I do have this. And like I say, it is just a crude facsimile, but I would like to propose a little experiment, since we do have something with some experience. Actually, we have two folks with experience. Well, one and change. Here's the thing. I'm going to take this self-same marker that Lena used here, and I also, now, this is going to be an inside joke for about 8 people in the room, all right? Or maybe just me. There's some rubber bands on the wrist right here. Oh, so it wasn't just for me, okay. My mom is so proud right now. Okay. Here we go. I'm gonna use the rubber bands, and I'm actually going to let go. I'm going to use the rubber bands to attach the pen here. You stay there, and we'll roll this down a little bit. Later on, I'm going to be linking these. You'll want to stick around for that. These really hard. Okay, all right. That's beautifully done, beautifully done. Right. That's a lovely thing. Okay, all right. Now, here's what we've done. I'm going to take and cover up said artifact. Here we go. A lovely cloth borrowed from my late grandmother. Don't know what that means. Now, I'll let you get a closer look at this. Lena's initials on the back of my business card here. Lena's initials on the back of my business card. Now, I'm going to have to do this in kind of we'll take this. Like I say, we're going to use this. Let me place it right directly under. That's beautiful right there. And we need one more thing. Since most often when a forger, someone who would forge someone's name, we need a name, but in this particular case we need a random name. I apologize for the appearance of this part right here. But these are a collection of just names. First names, very common names right down the line. All right? Men's and women's names right down the line, very common right down the line. Okay, I don't think I have a Lena in here, sorry about that. In fact, I'm sure I don't, but please do me a favor, would you please just mix those in whatever fashion you find acceptable. Now, here in a moment, we're going to select one of these at random. And I'm going to ask all of you to participate. Your participation will be very, very simple. I'm just going to ask you to focus on one thing, something which we're about to find. You happy with that? Doing okay? Do you want to check them out first, make sure everything is okay? This is not a card trick or anything like that. I know I have playing cards here. That was just, it makes it a whole lot easier if we can go ahead and just mix them up like that. You didn't have any trouble with that, did you? Okay. Now I tell you what, do me a favor, please. Say stop if you would. Right there. Please take that one. Now, out of all of these, you're going to focus on one. In fact, I don't want to see it. I don't want to be accused of anything here. But do me a favor, please show some of the people down front. You may have to step down close so I don't know that way you can see that. Concentrate on the name. Concentrate on the name. All right? A common name, yes. Nothing unusual about it. A common name. Here's what I'd like for all of you to do. Join me back up here on stage, if you would. Please, Lena, stand right here. And I would like for everyone to direct your attention, direct your focus to the hand underneath here. Direct whatever it is you just saw. I haven't seen it yet. Direct it over here. Direct it, if you would. And just focus on that name. I'm guessing we're done. Tell you what was it? Philip. Tell you what, do me a favor, Lena, if you would please step on over there. Just remove the scarf. It won't let you. Don't sweat it. Now, do you see, for instance, take a look. You can see the card there, can't you? Do you see your initials?
Yeah.
That is your card, correct?
Yeah.
Those are your initials. You wrote them with your own hand. Okay. Do you see something else on that card?
Yeah.
Can you read it?
Yeah.
Penmanship doesn't count. Can you read it? Can you read what it says?
Yeah.
What does it say?
Philip.
Wait a second. You want to get a good look over here. Yeah. Or fill up. Yeah, fill up. Hey, there's no brains attached to that hand. What can I say? What can I say? I tell you what, Lena, you have been a really marvelous sport. Would you please do me a favor? You keep that as a memento of our time together. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Mark Strivings. Thank you so much.
Ooh, that was spooky. I think he was making that story up. A friend of mine was the country he was talking about. He had to flee the country because he urinated in public. How about a curtain call, huh? How about that? We had Doc Prendergast. You still out there? Doc, come on up. Doc?
I think Doc left.
He left. He's the smart one. Okay. Bob Pitchman Shriver. Come on up, take a bow, Bob. Come on up. Come on up here, come on. Richard Nakata. Jim Pendergast. Lee Morelli. Mark Strivings. Our sound man, our audience. We get 30 for that, huh? You've been a wonderful audience. Don't go away. We've got cookies and drinks. What kind of drinks?
They're very
Geritol.